And we're back here with Marcus Best. And I ain't just saying Best because he's the best. It's actually in his name. But he's the OctoDad of the DMV. And he's someone I work with. How you doing today, Marcus?
All right, Johnny. How you doing today, man?
Good, bro. Welcome to 59 Minutes with Johnny Rocket.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me.
I'm hyped to have you on. Yeah. So Marcus, like I said, I like to refer to him, or I've been thinking of him lately as OctoDad because he's got 8 kids. Y'all wore this shirt because of you, and I thought I'd bring some of my VHSs, some of these joints that I had when I was a kid, and some of my buddy Jay Sean's VHSs. Just because even as an adult, I love getting to watch kids' movies. I think about all the little small things that like Pixar or Disney, Toy Story, all the little like sexual innuendos and jokes and shit they like weave in there.
Yeah.
And then like rewatching it just as an adult, you're like, damn, I never caught that.
I think as adults, once we get of age and, like we kind of rewind and rewatch these things, that's when we catch them. Because a lot of those jokes, we didn't catch when we were young.
Right.
And Nickelodeon was famous for it.
Facts.
Disney was famous for it. And Cartoon Network was definitely famous for it. So it's like now as we get older and we start to watch these things, like I find myself watching these things all the time. And specifically because I try to introduce my kids to some of the cartoons that I watched when I was young. And then when I hear it, I kind of like, wait, what did he just say? And hope that my kids didn't catch it. So, I mean, they've been sliding them things in there for years, man. It's once you get that adult ear, then you start hearing it.
And it gets sharp. And like, I just love rewatching. I mean, I've always talked about I love rewatching movies because every time I rewatch a movie or a show or something, like kids or not, like I always just pick something up else from it. I rewatched Tombstone recently to say, just to say it or to segue and say like R.I.P. Val, right? Yeah. But fucking Tombstone popped up on, I think, Hulu just because he passed away. And I rewatched it, and I caught, like, so many fucking lines and so many details that I had never seen before. I'd never seen the cards at the opening scene of the cowboy boots, and the guy first walks up, and they shoot on a church and, like, kill, like, a bride and a groom. And, like, at the end, the camera just goes to these boots, and it's, like, very Quentin Tarantino-esque, but I couldn't believe I watched that fucking movie so many times. I had never picked up that detail, and I was just like, damn. And it's just such a good movie. I hope you've seen.
Have I seen that movie?
Tombstone, it's got
familiar.
Kurt Russell. It's got, I can't think of the guy's name. He plays the Marlboro Man. He plays the stranger in Big Lebowski. I'm pretty sure I got Big Lebowski up on, I see it on the DVDs there. I sample this fucker's voice as the final closeout to my Burbs album. He has a sick line at the end of Big Lebowski of just like kind of recapping the story, but just being, he's like an old cowboy guy and you never learn his name. He's just always at a bar drinking, but he's got that old Sam something. Damn, I'm blanking on his last name. But no, he's one of the 4, and then Bill Paxton is the 4th cowboy. But they're like these cowboys, they go to a new town, or they're not cowboys themselves. They're like ex-lawmen. And the cowboys, basically what Tombstone is about is how they were the gangsters of the Wild Wild West. They were like red, kind of like how the Bloods are, but they were red coming out. And basically, if you saw a group of guys show up with red point, they would rob, rape, and kill. They did what the fuck they wanted. The sheriff and stuff would be like, "This isn't my responsibility. This is the other guy's responsibility." And people were just like senselessly being. It's some Wild Wild West shit.
Yeah, they just did a remake of that movie. It's got Lakeith Stanfield, Regina Hall.
Oh, I heard about this. I heard about that.
Idris Elba, and I can't think of his name. The guy that played Kang, the guy that was in Creed. Michael B. Jordan. No, not Michael B. Jordan. The guy he was fighting in that movie.
Oh, I can think of his face. I can't think of his name. But I'll add it later.
Yeah, I know who it is. I just can't think of his name. But there's like a lot of star power in that movie. Woody McClain is in it. Damon Wayans Jr. is in it.
Wow.
And it tells the story of the Crimson Hood gang and how just these group of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's 5 guys, and they are going around. And one of them is specifically going around because there is one of the characters, I think Lakeith Stanfield plays, his name is Wild Bill. And he's supposed to be the fastest gun in the West. And this other guy thinks that he's the fastest gun in the West. And the entire time they encounter each other, Lakeith Stanfield just plays him to the left. Every single time. And it's like he never gets that duel that he wants. because at the very end where it's now come down to him and Lakeith, somebody from the side just shoots him in the face, and that's the end of it.
That was the West. Yeah.
That
Just
was
out of somebody from the side just comes out of nowhere. So many people would like just kind of like senselessly go. And I feel like it's even harder to make a fucking Western movie. Like there's so many people who have tried, but there's only so few that I really think about.
There's really, like, when it comes to Westerns, if the storytelling is not there, it's not going to work. Like
Facts.
Desperado with Antonio Banderas and Selma Hayek. That was probably the best Western movie, if you want to call it a Western. That is probably the best Western movie. He's walking around with a suitcase full of guns, well, a guitar case full of guns. He's got bandmates who walk around. One of them has a rocket.
The music from that fucking, I'm so glad you brought Desperado. I can just like think of him.
The score was amazing.
So perfect. It's one of the best.
Yeah, and like I say, like that, I equate that to, like, there was a point in time where anything that Michael Bay directed, you just knew that he was gonna blow
shit up.
Yeah,
he was gonna blow some shit up.
Bad Boys.
You're not the first person to say that. I love Bad Boys too. Yeah. Oh, so just while we're thinking about it, because you said Bad Boys, and there's such a finite amount, I could count it on my hand. But Bad Boys is one. Beetlejuice is one. Dark Knight, Batman is one. I got the Dark Knight tattoo. Fucking sequels that are better than the original. I would say this shirt, Inside Out 2. It's why I kind of wore this shirt.
Yeah.
And you kind of took it away because Bad Boys was on that list. I'm so glad you mentioned it. I love how the guy's name is Johnny at the end of that movie and the way that Bad Boys 2 like goes out. But go back to Michael Bay.
He actually directed, and this is probably one of my favorite movies of all time, which is Transformers.
Fuck yeah, I brought the Transformers today. I brought Transformers.
He directed those films, and I think he directed all the way up to Dark Knight,
the third or the fourth.
It was the Dark Knight. So the last one that had Shia LaBeouf in it, that was the last one that he directed.
The one with where the chick changed to the Russian girl.
Yeah,
Dark Side of the Moon.
Yeah, that's one.
Actually, Dark Side. I just rewatched that one too.
Yeah, that was like my favorite.
They're so good, rewatchable. Yeah. Oh my! And I remember like going back to as a kid, just like going for the robots, but like now, like. They're good-ass movies all around. Then,
like, it opened up this world where I started to think, like, maybe I would find a Transformer. Like, I would find a Crown Vic somewhere. It'd be raggedy with the Autobot symbols on it. Yeah. Transform. His name is, like, Jamal or something. And, like, this is what these movies allowed us to believe.
They did such a good job at setting the environment for it to feel real, because it felt what you just said basically tells me that it felt so real. That's what I felt like superhero movies got away from when they got Thor in the mix, and I kind of stepped away. But I loved like Spider-Man and shit as a kid, like how it felt, where how Transformers builds that environment, like you said. And you're like looking for a Transformer. And
it also, like, if you don't pay attention closely, they drop like bits and pieces of knowledge in those movies because they told the story of the SR-71. Now, this is the plane that the X-Men use, that they use in the X-Men movie. But this is a plane that the United States built in the 60s, 1964, March of
It's the Black Hawk?
The Blackbird.
I'm thinking about the triangle one?
No, it's not that one. That's the predecessor. So that's the one that came after it.
Facts.
So they built this plane in the 60s, and it just tells you like how advanced technology was. Even in the 60s, we barely had color TV in the 60s. But they built a stealth plane that travels Mach 3.2. That breaks the sound barrier. But the
wow. Okay. They have one of these at Udvar. You ever been to Udvar Hazy in Dulles, the museum?
I want to go so bad.
Take your kids.
I want to go so bad.
Dude, I fucking have leaned over and touched so many of the fucking things. But they have one of these. And actually, hold up. Oh my God. Bro, Transformers 2 takes place in Udvar Hazy. In the Dulles.
They shot it there. That's the one.
That's the one.
Yeah, that's Jetfire.
I've touched this shit.
Yeah, that's Jetfire.
I've touched it, bro. I'm so glad I Googled the picture. Like, but you gotta fucking go, bro. Yeah, Transformers takes place there. Yeah, that's like my favorite fucking museum. I used to take girls there back when I was single. Sorry, baby. But like, seriously, that was like a place, like the museums are like, it's such a good place to take a girl on a date. They got the shit in there for food. The parking's $20, but like, there's so much cool shit, and Transformers takes place there.
His scene was really why I started looking at this plane, because I was like, I've seen this before, and this is how I found out it was in the X-Men movie.
I can't believe it's a '60s plane.
Yeah, they made it in the '60s.
Jesus.
Like they made it in the '60s. There's never been one shot down at all. It's just a
It just goes so fast.
Yeah,
so fast.
it outruns
Anything.
missiles, bullets. That's why there were no guns on this plane.
The third picture is the plane at Dulles.
Yeah,
like that scene. Wow. Mm-hmm.
But that's where Jetfire transformed and blew the doors open and came out, and
out the hangar.
He's out there in the old man stage because he's been here for over 200 years, and they forgot about him, and he defected from the Decepticons to all
Prime.
the ones.
There's a Prime.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I remember that guy. He's so good. He's so good.
Those movies, from 2009 to about 2012, even as me entering adulthood, those were the things that really opened up my imagination. Like, hey, this stuff can really happen.
Well, now we see robotics and shit kind of currently advancing. They had, I know, not to get political, but Elon had that one robot, and to tie it to movies, the iRobot guy I remember made some posts on X or something about hey, thanks for paying credit to your design, because the robots they made, they're stamp 80% looking like
carbon copy.
But then I saw one recently where something in China, there was something about China, this fucking this it was a tech advancement because they're yo, Silicon Valley, we're falling behind. But it was a dog, and I did see some live video of these robot dogs, how perfect they could throw. 2 or 3 of them could throw, start juggling 10 or 15 balls back and forth.
Yeah.
But to demonstrate the precision and accuracy, in warfare. But if they have the little dog to be able to take shit, before sooner or later they'll have the robot super soldier. I think that will finally be in our lifetime. We're just starting to see you don't even need AI to run it in a way. They really just that we have the tech now that someone's gonna make that shit. Someone's gonna make it.
Yeah,
one way or the
and
other.
it's like some kid in his basement right now tinkering with something, and that's gonna be the next big boom. Because a lot of these things that we use right now are just people tinkering around in their dorm rooms.
Processors too, you can print them. Brian's been on the podcast, so I can actually mention. But Brian mentioned that his dad got his son for Christmas a 3D printer, and every day he's showing us what his son's 3D printed this week and that week and what it is. But you can print a lot of these boards and shit now, or there's printers and stuff constantly being developed. So once you can make the processors and the chips, all it takes is more chips so something can think and do what, at the end of the day, it's going to be sooner or later. No, someone will finna have that type of, I don't know if it'll be a transformer that with that swagger. Because see, that's what Transformers, they're not just the tech, they got the swagger from robot to whip back and forth.
Yeah.
It's a smooth transition.
And I say, it all just ties back to, just somebody just sitting down, because everything starts as a process. Everything starts as a thought, actually. So just, when you sit down and you think about the type of things that you can do, you ultimately, you're opening the door to be able to do it. Right now, I have a son right now who, number 8, let's go.
Number 8. Okay, 8. I like that. Yeah, so we know in order. How old is he?
He's going to be 16 in June.
Wow. Okay, so 8 is the oldest.
8 is the oldest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
8 is. No, I'm sorry. No. Number 1. He's number 1. I'm sorry.
He's number 1.
I'm backwards.
Yeah,
number 1.
Number 1.
Number 1. He'll be 16 in June. Yeah. I just got a camera for my PlayStation, but he's really into it. So now he's gotten to the point where he'll stream on my Twitch. So he is probably, I'm not gonna say he's the best Fortnite player I've seen, but usually kids develop a high, I'm talking about an extremely high hand-eye coordination from just playing video games, whereas to where they don't even have to look down at the controller. Sometimes I find myself looking at the buttons.
I remember when I started driving cars, it was very early at the time, but I'm 28, so I was born in 97 to give you an idea on timeline. And I remember internet was still dial-up because I bought the shit at this place where we got our internet from. Back when we had internet shops, not even big companies, the dial-up and Keck internet.
Yeah.
And it was a racing wheel. And I remember playing that, and it had a plastic shifter. And like I remember playing that before being able to like whip a whip, but then I started driving when I was 12. And like once I started driving, I remember feeling like, yo, this is just like the game. Like the game was like spot on. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I remember thinking to myself, even though there's a little lag here there, we used to play a Harley Davidson game, but use the wheel still. And I feel like the way it like leaning, they had it down. That was early 2000s. That was pre 2010. Yeah. Like 2008, 2006.
Because I know a lot of those games, like specifically the Gran Turismo, where it came with the like if your parents loved you that much.
Have you seen that movie?
No, I did not.
Fire.
I did
so
not.
Good.
Somebody else told me it was a good movie though.
They're doing a new Formula One movie right now. But they just shot Brad Pitt. It was cool because I saw the behind the scenes. Brad Pitt drove real Formula One cars, and like, yeah, I'm curious to see.
I wouldn't really say I'm curious because I'm kind of off like driving movies because Fast and the Furious kind of ruined that for me.
Yeah, when it got to space, I was like,
yeah,
whoa.
they went from like illegal street racers to covert U.S. like agents
and
to where you're flying a Fiero.
The space shit was crazy. I saw some shit on vacation. The scene. Or some scene of Dom and Letty jumping off a cliff and the thing hooking to the wheel.
Yeah,
I was like, "What is this?"
They crashed two cars into each other and torpedoed himself to grab her.
What Tom Cruise is doing, and he's doing it right. Like every fucking like Mission Impossible, it's a new, bigger, badder stunt, and Tom's like, "I'm gonna do it," and he just does it.
Yeah, I mean,
like, dude, yeah, I feel you though. How Fast and Furious kind of ruined it.
Yeah.
After 5, and you want to know what's even funnier, bro? One of the first movies I watched was my wife was Fast 5 because it takes place in Brazil. And right away she's like, "Oh my God, this is not Brazilian. This is not Brazilian." At one point he's like, "This is Brazil." And she's like, "No, like it's not." Like apparently, like they got a lot of that like way off, which blows my mind because the market's like even bigger there. You would think they would get those parts spot on. That was the last movie that like had it for me, like where I was really kind of engaged. I got de-engaged after Fast 5.
And then they were like sword fighting with pieces of metal, and Vin Diesel had two big wrenches, and he's swinging them like they're...
They rebooted it again, fucking Disney. Although when I went to, I said Disney, I meant Universal. When we went to Universal, we went for one day when we were in Florida like a week or two ago. Mm-hmm. And there was a Fast 5 experience, or not Fast 5, but Fast and Furious like experience. It was a bus. And like, there's probably like 30 people on it, and it didn't like really move too much, but it had a screen going around like 360. So like you felt like you were part of the chase, and it moved like on a gyro. That when there were explosions, they ran real fire on the side, so you feel the heat and shit. The ride malfunctioned, or the screen froze, but the machine kept moving and fire. It was awkward. Everyone started like laughing, but I felt like Ju is like, this is the movie. This is like the new movies, like how they're just like they've just like malfunctioned, bro.
Is that
and they reboot too with two huge. They threw John Cena in there. They threw The Rock in there, like to try and just reboot it. They're like, let's go paycheck film.
Yeah, and they're
film.
Yeah, they're just throwing money at it.
Yep,
and just hoping that the money comes back. But us as consumers, because we've grown accustomed to these movies, we go and we eat it up.
Yeah, I will be real.
We go and we eat it up.
Every Fast and Furious.
Yeah, I've seen every one. I hate it.
I don't just see them though.
Everyone.
I go to them in like the theaters too, because like that was such a big. I had this shit as a kid that was shaped like a wheel. It's like a rubber wheel with the DVDs inside. I still fucking have that shit actually. Should bring it for one of them. But like, yeah, I feel you totally. When you rewatch the first, and like I love the second one. Like really was actually the first one I saw when I think about it going backwards. And then the third one, I love that one, the Mexico shit, where they're like kind of still thefting gas. Like it was still kind of real.
It paid homage to the original one.
Yeah. How do you feel about Tokyo Drift?
Tokyo Drift tells a different story.
Do you like how they weaved it back in?
Yeah, because
the ending.
When he comes back up, cool. And because the whole thing was just to tie Han back into it, because Han apparently died in Tokyo Drift, but it was just a covert mission for him to get out from whatever undercover mission that he was on.
Right.
When he previously was working with Dom in California.
Yeah.
On his illegal street racing team. Like, so like they were just connecting the dots wherever they could. I enjoy it for the long-term storytelling, but like once you kind of watch it and you watch it in chronological order the way that it's meant to be watched, then you're kind of like, well, none of this makes sense, because in the very last one, he comes back. Everybody comes back except for Giselle. Giselle's the only one that doesn't come back because I think she fell out the plane.
I rewatched too recently just to learn her backstory. I couldn't remember originally how she came from the other side.
She was in that one when they were in Brazil.
The gas one. Well, but before that, the way Giselle like introduces into the story in the second one of Dom's chronological, like if we take Tokyo Drift out of the sequence, because I'm referring to it as number 3, but it's really like number 2 of the Dom movies. Like Brian O'Connor is a Fed. It starts out. He's on some chase. They're looking for this Asian dude. And it's because the Asian dude runs for this, like, transporter. He's not a coyote. I forget the term. A drug smuggler. But he smuggles way more than drugs, like cars back and forth. And he has the racers get the shit from border to border underneath the shit. And, like, Brian goes in as a racer, like, undercover. And, like, Giselle is this dude's, like, right-hand man, but the female, and she runs like all the shit. She's like very smart. She's very like educated, and his name's Braga. And you know what's crazy is they bring that fucker back way later in the series. He's in prison at some point, and I think Brian goes undercover, or someone goes undercover like in prison, like kind of headbangs him, gets some info out of him, and then they like get him out real quick before they're off U.S. property. But that Braga guy, she first worked for him like in that shit, and then she met Dom and Brian through the racing. The racing scene was crazy. Do you remember that race? A couple people died, or a couple of the racers.
Yeah, when
that race scene, Dom does some off the wall, off road.
Yeah, because he was trying to find Letty.
It's borderline unrealistic race of how he finishes, but like that was whatever. It was still a very engaging plot at that point, and like it's a cool backstory for her.
It was so weird though how they got to that meeting, that scene where they're in the meeting. And he's asking, like, do you guys know each other?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, he dated my sister.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, he's a lucky man. You're a lucky man. You're lucky you're still breathing. Like, and it's like, what does any of this have to do with what the premise of this movie is? Because
sometimes I feel like movies do that because they don't know what else to say. They just need to fill the time with like, I don't know to say word vomit, but like, yeah, when what else is there to say?
But it's like if you're building up to that high action scene, and ultimately, because we've been watching these movies for years, we know that Dom and Brian are always going to be on the same page. It doesn't matter what it is; they're always going to be on the same page.
Yeah,
like I could be outside fighting Brian. Dom is gonna come and
family.
Yeah.
It's gonna be there. It's gonna be there.
And like I say, like with that, like I feel like when they get to these points in these movies, they just kind of like just drag it along. Whereas if you get to that point, just like I say in that scene, if you get to that point and Brian's lost this race, I don't need to see Brian. You got to reintroduce Brian another way. Don't just the other guy died, so here's the runner-up, Like, don't introduce him like that because now it's like ultimately you've taken the surprise away. So now we know something's going to happen with Dom and Brian, and it's going to happen soon because now he's still in the plot. Whereas if you'd have taken him out and then let's say 10, 15, 20 minutes down in the movie, you reintroduce him. Like, have an actual logical reason for him to come back around. Whereas like how they did it at the end of...
Do you know what they call this? Or roughly what you described there? It's called a MacGuffin. A MacGuffin is something that happens in a movie or a TV show plot that was not needed. It happens quite often in a lot of things. Or the way we watch movies now, because we watch them with subtitles, and my wife's she's like gotten fluent to English. She is fluent. She passed the test. Like she passed the fucking test for college for English shit. Like she getting there, bro. She got there. But like we watch movies and TV shows to find like plot holes or like these MacGuffins, and like whenever we do it, we're like, let's roll a J, or like we like sell. But basically, it's something that happens in the plot that didn't need to happen. It was useless totally, and it was just like a filler in there. Like you said, find a logical reason to loop him back in. Like there's enough people and brains. We put people on fucking the moon. Like they can fucking think of some shit for a story, But the MacGuffins really. Yeah, they just further the plot along in a movie, and you, in theory, could remove it, and it's like movie still could have happened and finished the same way.
Yeah, because the last movie jumped from, I think, the 6th or the 7th movie. The last movie jumped. That was when they introduced Jason Momoa. He was the son.
I forgot. That's the third paycheck guy. They brought him back in. Just paycheck film.
Exactly.
I really don't care for him.
They brought him
it's
in.
like I don't really know much about him though. He just like always.
He was Aquaman. That's all I know. He was Aquaman.
Other than that though, he just always plays like odd character. But like I feel like I just don't know anything about him. But I don't ever seek movies out to watch. And when I see a movie with him in it, I'm like, do I need to see this? Like
he's one of those actors where he's
typecast.
Yeah.
As fuck.
Exactly, and everything, every shot in the movie is a face frame. And that's really the selling point of the movie. His face. It's not anything that he does. It's not anything that he says. It's just his face.
Yep.
So he is what brings you to the movie, and 9 times out of 10, it's only women that's coming to see him because all I ever hear talk about Jason Momoa is women.
Yeah.
And it's like
it's hard for people. Someone who did a jump recently on that, man, I'm like man crushing so hard over him lately. Robert Pattinson. I had this we talked about Batman and I was such a stereotypical Twilight. But then I watched Twilight recently with my wife. We watched all 4 movies in 2 days. And I was like, what the fuck was I missing? They were such good movies. I couldn't believe it was so great to get to watch them all. And then but what really got me for him, you ever seen Tenet? Christopher Nolan directed. It's got Baby Washington or Denzel Washington's kid. Do you know that guy?
I don't. I've heard.
I forget his fucking name, but I really got to share him with you. He's so cool. He's such a good actor. I first saw him on the show Ballers with The Rock. He was a wide receiver.
Yeah. Okay. I know exactly who you're talking about now. I know exactly.
He's always got a beard. Denzel Washington's son.
Yeah,
he's in this movie with John David Washington. He's in this movie with Robert Pattinson. Chris Nolan directed it.
Yeah, nobody knew for the longest time. Nobody knew who he was or who his dad was because
Daddy?
he they did an interview together and he was like he wanted to be able to make it on his own without using his dad's name. Like I think a lot of people are doing that.
You got my respect. Like for real, dude. That guy is so fucking dope, bro. Like I've seen him play so many different actors in serious roles, more comedic laid back ones. Tenet's such a cool movie though because it's like a time travel plot. And like Robert Pattinson, he's not Twilight Robert. He's got like a more proper British voice. And then there's this other movie, like my little sister, she's became a flight attendant. She worked for United now. The last days we had together, we binge watched. We started with Batman because I had like a little reel from this podcast, go pretty viral in the little Batman world. People are fighting in the comments over the new one versus the old ones, and there's only all the Batmans.
There's only one. Michael Keaton is the Batman. Michael Keaton
is from Pittsburgh, bro. I love Mike Keaton. See, to me, Chris Nolan was my Batman growing up, but I'm gonna make a song about this shit. Who's your Batman? Dude, because it's so many people have different people. I know people who Ben Affleck, sadly, is theirs. I know other people where it's Val Kilmer. George Clooney had those weird ones, those Joel Schumacher directed.
Michael Keaton. I'm sorry. There's a similar conversation with Spider-Man. Personally, I feel like Tobey Maguire is the Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But
Tom's good though. Tom's good. I like how they did the little universe shit there. So that's a redeeming Marvel thing.
But it strays away from the actual comic book because Tom Holland doesn't have the physical attributes of Spider-Man.
Yeah,
it's all provided by Tony Stark. And plus whatever he made before he met Tony Stark.
Yeah, that's really some big budget shit.
Yeah, Andrew Garland is the same way.
He gets robot-y with his webs and shit. See, I didn't even watch these movies because when they brought the Thor in shit and they put it this Harry Potter. I love Harry Potter. It's the Harry Potter world. But I didn't want it in my superheroes. I love that feeling. How you had said about Transformers making it feel real. That's what Tobey Maguire Spider-Man did for me, bro.
Yeah, and like I say,
you felt like you could become Spider-Man, dude.
In No Way Home, when they're going over the fluid, they're going over the webs, and they're looking when Toby shoots the web out his wrist, and they're like, "Did that come out of you?" And he's like, "Yours doesn't." That kind of throws the multiverse off because now, at what point do we start to get back to the comic? Because the comic is the original. Stan Lee is the original. And those different multiverses, each Spider-Man gets bitten. He doesn't make anything. He gets bitten. Like Spider-Man. This dude is made up of a million spiders.
Willem Dafoe, the best fucking villain from that movie.
The greatest Green Goblin of all time.
And I love I don't know his name, the guy who plays Doc Ock. He does a lot of shit though, bro. Like he was in Conclave, this movie that just came out recently. That's
He was
such a
in,
good fucking. I don't know his name. John Oliver, maybe.
he was in X-Men too.
That's what I'm saying.
He was
He's
in X-Men too.
everywhere.
Yeah.
That guy's everywhere, bro. He's in so many fucking movies. Like, not even just superhero movies. He's just like, he's a very good actor all around. Like, no cap. But the one thing I want to say about Robert Pattinson, there's this movie on Netflix. It's called The Devil The Devil Alive All the Time. Have you ever seen it?
Nah, I didn't.
So, ironically, Tom Holland is in it. And it's a movie that kind of takes place over like a 30-year time span. And Tom Holland is like the boy grown up. He's like the midway through. At first, you see him as a kid, live this terrible life. Dad beats mom. Mom dies like from cancer, some shit. And then the second like scenes where he's like older, he's Tom Holland. He meets this priest, and it's a Southern priest, and it is fucking Robert Pattinson, and oh my Christ, he's like got this like high pitched voice. The whole movie, it gives you goosebumps to hear. But that to me, once I saw that with my sister recently, bro, I was like, oh my God, Robert Pattinson climbed so high up on my. It was. I didn't know he could make these sounds and like act the way he did, and then he does Batman, and then with the Twilight, like, and then Tenet, he's so like it just finally made him for me like, okay, he's not just some little like, I'm not just, you had said originally the guys to the girls. I think that's how I got onto that, the girls to the guys. I became like a super fan, bro.
That's how I felt when I heard Damson Idris talk for the first time. The guy that played Franklin in Snowfall. I never knew that he was not from the U.S.
Bro,
because he adapted so well. Like he sounded like he was from California. And then when he started talking, I was like, he's British.
It's crazy.
Like,
crazy.
and he just
Tom Holland does that well too.
Yeah, and then
well.
Yeah, and the other guy that what's another guy? What's the guy's name that played Rick on The Walking Dead? He's British too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's British. Like, and these guys, like, when they're,
I don't know his name, but we all know Rick.
His name is Andrew
Carl.
Yeah.
Man, I miss it.
Like, it's like hearing them talk, and then like the amount of time that they take to learn. It's like they'll go.
They paychecked Walking Dead, bro. Did you see they brought it back recently?
I think after they killed off all the original cast members, like, bro, it doesn't.
Rick is fucking Michonne. They got kids.
Yeah,
they got kids. It's crazy. It's like a while. Like,
yeah, Carl got
my wife
shot.
Binged it in like a night when I was doing some music shit in the other room. I remember walking and be like, "Oh my God, are they what?" Like, I was so I didn't even like know it was poorly marketed. I didn't even know they had released it till she had it on.
Yeah, Carl got shot in the eye, like literally a clean shot. Clean shot. And he survived it. And it was so weird because at this point, I think, how caught up in it were you?
I stopped after like the 4th season. I just lost it. Like, I heard, actually, it's funny, we're in Arlington, Virginia right now, but it was taking place in Alexandria, and I caught up to watch those, and then I was just like, this is like the same shit, different day. It's like the same story every week. Like, I really kind of lost it. Let's see, Steve Yeun, because it's funny to think he's really blossomed, the Asian kid.
Yeah, that's Glenn.
Bro, Glenn, yeah. Yes. Steve Yeun, such a good motherfucking actor. He's in so many, like, good. I just saw, he's in one with Robert Pattinson. Oh, Mickey 17. That just came out. It's on Apple TV right now. But, like, that shit, bro, he, like, I stopped when he was fucking some chick.
Maggie.
Yeah.
And she's got a movie out called, I think it's called The Boy or The Babysitter.
The Babysitter, yeah.
Where she's like a nanny to like this doll, but it's really like a 30-year-old guy, and he's living inside the walls of his house because his parents are like crazy or something.
Yeah, I didn't see it, but I saw like a preview. I know what movie you're talking about.
It's one of those ones you have to watch because it's almost like, have you ever seen See No Evil with Kane in it, the wrestler Kane?
No, but I know about that one too.
Like, it's similar to that, but it's just like more darker because the parents go out and they live like on this beach. And as she comes, they tell her that they're going on vacation, but they really go out on the beach to kill themselves.
Whoa.
Like, it's weird. Like, the movie is dark.
It's awesome evil. Damn, that's
It
crazy.
is dark, and he's just running havoc through the house, but he's in the walls doing it. Like, it's crazy.
Damn.
It is so crazy.
Yo, I wanted to ask you, because you made a comment earlier, and I was like, damn, like, I didn't know this about you. Like, you do so many cool impressions at work, and something that I always loved about you is you get, because, I work with Marcus, by the way, or I mentioned it. Like, I know him through work. He sells cars. He's one of the top sales guys. I don't know how you fucking do it, juggling with 8 kids. But bro, you always are hip to references of like any sort. And like I gauge people's like their age, like other salespeople, before I really kind of knew how much or how old they were. I could really gauge it well, like Hip or like Zach. They're very close. They're within like a year of me by just some of the references I make and whether they know it or not. Because like whether they were that age, like growing up. But you always kind of like know everything. You know, always any reference, any movie line, any quote. Like you're hip with it. But you said earlier Michael Bay, and I was like, whoa. You know movies by directors. Who are some of your top directors? Would you say?
Like I said, definitely Michael Bay. Quentin Tarantino.
Boom! I got this is Quentin Tarantino tattoo, bro. Red Apple cigarettes, or his brand of cigarettes, and all. So he does a Universal. Do you know about how all his movies take place in the same universe? So Red Apple cigarettes is like a very consistent theme, and I think he's doing a final movie with God. Who is it? He's teaming up with someone I read recently, like another powerhouse director for Quentin's like final film.
Because I know they were in talks for it was supposed to be one more Kill Bill. It was supposed to be one more, which didn't.
For that maybe?
I don't think that would have made sense because didn't she get him in like Volume 3? Or did he?
Yeah, but they could always like go back. Quentin Tarantino, and then final movie. Oh, my images all movie critic. Have it revealed Pulp Fiction changes my. Oh, you motherfucker! He always is like hokey pokey with this final Quentin.
Yeah.
Teaming up. I swear I read an article where it was like he was gonna team up. Okay, nah, yeah. Okay, so it's taking place. It's a Once Upon a Time in Hollywood post structure, and it's gonna have David Fincher. Quentin Tarantino wrote the script. It's gonna have Brad Pitt, Leah. Oh, okay. It's based on Brad Pitt's character, Rick Dalton. Or no, Rick Dalton is Leonardo DiCaprio. I forget Brad Pitt's name in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but he's like his like kind of like bodyguard, buddy, whatever. Did you see that one? Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? It's the Charles Manson one. Wow.
No,
God,
I didn't
you got
see that.
to. Oh my God, I'll bring it for you. I have it on DVD and Blu-ray, like multiple. I'm like a huge QT fan. He's on my list of 5. In the second episode of this podcast, I listed out like my 5, like Kubrick, Tarantino, Chris Nolan. I think I had Spielberg, Ridley Scott. Like, but fucking Quentin Tarantino. You guys, I'm gonna bring you Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It's so good. But his next final one supposedly supposed to be a kind of like a spinoff almost of Brad Pitt's character. Brad Pitt's like a badass in that fucking movie. It's so cool.
I think my third, like my top 3, Michael Bay, Quentin Tarantino. Oh, this one, Oliver Stone.
Thank you.
Because
okay.
I love Any Given Sunday. Like,
oh my gosh.
Just that movie made me want to play football. And then when I got to high school and I seen how much bigger the kids were, it's like, nah, I like music.
I was trying to think.
I like music.
I watched. Oh, awkward. I bet the mic's picking up that. Someone moving filing cabinets. Woo. JFK. That was the one I'd see. You ever seen JFK? Oliver Stone directed that. He directed Wall Street. Oh my God, with Charlie Sheen. Oh, and then here's the newer one that I just watched. That was his Snowden. Did you ever see that movie? Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
I watched the beginning of it and I fell asleep on it. So I watched the beginning of it.
Pretty good movie overall.
But it's like now, like what I'm watching, like now at this point in time right now, like I'm really into like the documentaries right now.
Right.
So like it came out last year, but like the resurfacing of it is starting to happen now because like I think Drake is doing interviews now. But Quiet on Set.
Oh yeah. That was crazy.
That shit,
bro.
like the amount of joy that we got as kids from watching these shows and not really knowing what those kids were going through is fucking terrible.
Did you see the NSYNC Backstreet Boys one? There's one on Hulu that's it's like Quiet on Set, but for the guy, I guess it was just one like old fat white guy who like put together these boy bands and booked the show. Basically did what I'm trying to do with my music. Like I'm trying to find like someone and like to get it promoted. It's like I have the product, I have my live set stuff, I have the equipment, you know what I mean? But that guy, he would just be able to book them shit because no one was doing it. It was like pre-internet, so he had the connection, the plug, and it shows how he like worked the kids like kind of crazy, bro.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. In this climate, you would honestly be better off like doing it yourself. Because
that's what it's come down to.
The worst thing,
literally, it's DIY all day.
The worst thing that you would want is to run into somebody like a Jerry Heller. You don't like those
scammer.
Yeah,
motherfucker, come in here.
Take everything from you, and then kind of give you peanuts just to keep you quiet.
That's what it was. This dude like held the rights to all their music and like everything, bro. Totally fucked them. I think Justin's like one of the only ones who like made it out and survived.
Yeah, I
on
think
his own.
Yeah, so he his story is weird because he signed with Timbaland while he was still like in sync, but it was like how that whole situation broke down was that he had to pay like a percentage of what was that first album? It was Justified, right? Wasn't that the first album? He had to pay.
Yeah.
He had to pay a percentage of that album went towards him getting out of the NSYNC contract.
Had like Cry Me a River on it and stuff. Yep, yeah, that was Justified.
Yeah, like
and
it was
the one with the smashing the disco ball. That was like Sexy Back and like he kept growing.
Yeah, and then what's crazy was he was like a mega pop star, and he only had like 4 albums.
Wow.
He only had like 4 albums.
The 2020, that was crazy. I still listen to those songs.
It was Justified, Sexy Back, 2020, and then the album with Mirrors on it. I think
I think Mirrors was 2020 Experience. That like 7-minute song. Yeah, it was definitely on there with Suit and Tie.
Yeah, that's
Mirrors. That JT album was like it for me at one point. I was like, damn, I want to be like. I remember like hearing those songs and being like, this is what I want to do with my music. Like, I don't want to just be a fucking like rapper. I want to be an artist. I want to like incorporate rap here there, but like the way they balance the sounds, the singing, and like Jay-Z into it, like
and that's what I was gonna say because he elevated to a point where like you get a cosign from Jay-Z. Like Jay-Z doesn't just work with anybody.
Yeah, not at all.
You got like this pop star, and he's not even of the hip hop world, but he's crossed over so much that you get a cosign from Jay-Z. This is the biggest artist.
Literally, bro.
This is the biggest artist.
So many fans at Chip found. So many people who used to write JT off like, oh, it's just a girl guy. Boom. Immediately they were there. He was
getting picked for things that he wasn't even like. He wasn't even in the conversation for. Like originally when J. Cole wrote, what's the name of that song? Got Me Up All Night. What is the name of that song?
All I'm saying is a power trip.
That song. Jay-Z wanted JT on that. But J. Cole fought for Miguel. And like this is the realm that he's ascended to with only like 3 or 4 albums.
Wow. It's crazy.
Yeah, like
meanwhile, Chris Kirkpatrick. Actually, you know how Chris Kirkpatrick inspired me? My Johnny Rocket logo.
That's Chip Skylark. Yeah,
he's Chip Skylark.
Yeah.
He's the real Chip Skylark.
Yeah.
I based that off of Fairly Odd Parents. You know, I love how you do that. So I guess we could say Chris made it too. He escaped.
Yeah, he's another one that got out unscathed. I think JC Chazé, he's another one. He's actually from Bowie.
Really?
He's from Bowie. He went to Bowie High School.
So many people from Maryland, fucking Virginia, like, dude, the realm with the DMV.
Yeah, there's
so many people here.
There is so many people. Like Martin Lawrence is from Landover. He's from Landover, Maryland.
You know, Ludacris went to high school in Centerville. He's not from Centerville, but he went to high school.
Yeah, he's originally from.
He's a military brat.
No.
Or I don't know why he was.
He just moved around a lot. He's originally from Chicago.
Wow.
Yeah, he's originally from Chicago. Like a lot of these guys, when they settle. Just like Drewski. He's from Columbia. He's from Columbia, Maryland.
Damn.
But he just moved to Atlanta. His family moved to Atlanta. But he's really like from that upper, like the North Laurel, Columbia. He's from up that side.
Oh, whoa. I'm glad y'all was hit by vapors and went off. Happy 420. You know me, by 420 alarm every day.
Oh, for sure.
I guess I'll segue into it once, right? I wanted to mention... And it's funny, I explained this to one other person recently. I'm sure he'll be happy. I'll give you a little shout out, but I won't say who it is, who I explained this to. But vape technology at first took flight back 2016, 2017. I was really kind of like into it because like I know the like chem background and like just to see the transition that they take actual weed and then turn it into like whether you press it or you do like people have used like propane, whatever. Wow, I don't know why that's ringing. But anyway, long story short, we took flight 2016, 2017, and they've slowly transitioned, and then it like picked up like 2-3 years ago. It got better with these Zuzus. I've talked about the Zuzu on the podcast before because this is what I use like quite a bit, like for a while here. It's funny because it's got a little airplane on there. I know you probably can't see. You could zoom, right? So it's like funny for the analogy, but bro, like, and this is like a 747 Boeing, like what we just fly normal planes with now. But these little fucking boutique switch vapes I just got, like in from Cali. I guess the 4 places where there's just like the best of the best. You got like Cali, Oregon, Colorado, Washington State. I'm missing one. What? Cali, Colorado. I feel like there's like another one, but the 4 or 5 states where there's like no regulation, like it's like the shit that you get from a dispo here in Maryland and Virginia, bro. It's like fluoride in the water. It's watered down. It's like when you buy a car. Hips talk about sending his Beamer, his computer like to Finland, so they unlock it. But like our cars have so much more potential, but their software set up so we only get to drive like 60%. And think about it, though. There's probably way more crashes. So it's probably actually a good thing in that respect.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, like, this shit is like the fucking Falcon rocket that can go up to space, come back, land down. It's got 2 fucking flavors. It's got the little button so you can switch from one to the other joint, and then you can double click and do both. It's fucking crazy. But, yeah, no, this has been... I don't know. It's been exciting. I was excited to share that with you because this is, like, just a new level of tech, bro. It just took it to another fucking level. Took it to another level.
Yeah, and then it kind of masks the smell. Like if you don't like the conventional way of, 420, it takes away the smell, but you still get the same effect. So, like,
and some of these joints though, like they don't get me like nearly as high. Like he stands outside, hit like 5 to 10 times.
Yeah,
shit, I hit it like once or twice. I'm like coughing like crazy. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
whoa, dude.
It puts you where you want to be.
That's a good way to put it.
Without that much effort.
Literally, bro. Yeah,
like,
fucking fire. No cap.
Like back when I used to smoke, bro, I would just like.
I used to blaze all the time. I used to hate people who smell like weed, whatever. I used to think of whatever, but like you just can't go to work like that. You can't. Like you can, bro. Like especially we sell cars. You gotta be presentable.
I was thinking because
that's why vape saved me, bro. Because it It also I smoke less real pack. So when I do smoke pack, like I get like high.
Nah, I had paused because I was going to show this to my mom, and my mom just retired from the police department. But,
keep it G. Keep it a buck.
So back when
team rated,
like when I used to smoke, I had like me, my cousin, and my brother, his girlfriend, and my aunt and uncle, and we would smoke like just continuous to the point where we couldn't get no high. But I look over to my left or my right, and somebody's rolling up again, and I'm not a quitter, so there's nowhere else to go. But I'm gonna keep going up.
I'm gonna keep going. Nah, I feel that, bro. I've been through those days. But it's like I guess you could say it's fun, like to keep it in check, so to speak. I wanted to show one other thing. Ronan, can you cue to it? A little like strip tease of the video coming. My Burbs video, I'm getting ready to drop it here in the next couple of weeks. I don't have like a date yet. I originally just give you background on this, Marcus. I had this I spent all this bread. Like I was kind of trapping hard at the time, and like it's how I funded the video. And I got Arsenal on it, like just by meeting him in Atlanta by sheer happenstance.
Shout out to the Rebel, man.
Yeah, and
shout out to the Rebel.
So like when I got ready to like drop this officially, like I got super caught up, and like it's what pushed me into the car business, bro. Like I was going to school still, I was working at Starbucks. I got bagged like while on the clock, bro. Like they're like, someone hit this car outside. I was like, it's my car. I walk outside in my green apron. Fairfax County Drug Task Force, bro. It's like all my promo bread like went to like lawyers and bail and what. So I never got to drop it. It's just like it's like a time capsule. I shot this shit like 7 years ago, low key. But we've just kind of been sitting on it, and like now I feel like I have like a better platform Yeah, they're like release it right. But this is striptease because you got 8 kids. This is 8 Johnnies though. This shot is crazy because it took all day, like 16 hours. It's really just a bunch of math, but like he passes the J up and then over, and then the top one drops the lighter down, and like I still don't understand fully how they were able to do it, but they did it, and it's like my favorite shot of the video.
Nah,
Just like play it on loop, rolling in a little bit. There we go. That's like the fresh shit. I got the Springfield, Run Springfield shirt. Oh my gosh. Crazy. Bang.
This bottom shot right here. This is my 4-year-old. Just specifically this move right here. That's him.
Literally, bro. It's funny. I didn't even like design the characters. The directors did, or they had. I just brought a bunch of clothes and they dressed them up and did different hairstyles and shit. And we just do like all the different type shots, like kind of constantly, like for like 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and then like they ultimately 2 weeks later had this edit through. It's just crazy. But thank you, Ronan. Let's shout out Brady Bunch. Fucking the inspo on that shit. But we're excited. I'm excited to get Burbs out. Finally get that shit rolling, bro.
So,
it's my fucking video.
I saw it, and when you showed it to me, I immediately fell in love with it. Specifically, just not that shot. I think there's a shot where you guys are in like at the back of a truck. I think it's Arsenal.
Oh wow, that's because that's how we shot it. It's us on black and white, but it's funny. The day of the shoot, Kirk on this other podcast I'm gonna drop before this one, he talks about it. Arsenal was like late, like to where we needed him to be, and they only were like, "No, we're gonna go to this place, like where the fire was." And we had this other studio set up to get these shots of him just on black, like in a chair, and like we couldn't get it done. And the way they like closed the deal still is we rented a big ass U-Haul, and then like this was like July. This is like July 17th. That's 2017. And fucking we got Arsenal to get in this U-Haul, and they put like blankets and shit up for Black, and we got him to like do his verse there or parts of his verse, so they could cut like a TV show back and forth to the shots. But yeah, that's when you say back of a truck. I feel like I mentioned you like, yeah, we shot that in the back of a fucking truck.
The good thing about it is it doesn't look like it's in a truck. Like it looks like an actual scene from an actual set.
Yeah.
And like the amount of ingenuity that you guys put into that video is amazing.
Hell yeah. No, I
Like,
appreciate
awesome.
it. I appreciate it. I'm definitely hyped. We got 7 minutes left, by the way. It's crazy how fast time flies, bro. Definitely flies when you're having fun.
Yeah, I think we
No
were just
cap.
like talking just how we talk just at work. Like
No cap. Yeah. Literally, bro. Some of these movies here that I brought actually you seen this joint?
I've definitely seen that.
I love when that fucking head gets blown off in that. Oh my God. Yo, best like execution quick scene for saying a quick comment.
Yeah.
Watch fucking American Gangster. That movie like made me fall in love with Denzel to like another fucking level, I feel like. Another level.
I think when they romanticize these movies to the point where they exaggerate them, because a lot of these like these stories that tell the story of a story, like it kind of exaggerates.
Always, yeah, like Wolf of Wall Street, or like, yeah, they always they dramatize it for the movie. Yeah, for sure.
Because I don't know.
I know you get away with just blowing a dude's head off in the middle of New York.
Blowing up a police officer's car.
Like, yeah.
Especially a crooked one.
Just blowing up a police officer's car.
And then you ask him about it. Where's the Mustang? How's the Mustang?
What?
Like, and he
That's
just
funny as
he's
shit.
upset. Like,
Oh, you mentioned this one to me. I knew I like recently watched it. This is 40.
This movie and it's this movie and The Breakup.
Oh yeah, Vince Vaughn.
And Jennifer Aniston. That is that's how I thought that my first breakup was gonna go, and it was nothing like that. Like,
Right.
it was just she got her shit and she was just like, I'm gone.
I'm out.
That was it. Like,
I didn't think it was gonna go.
yeah, I
that
thought
way,
we were
yeah.
gonna be like arguing a little bit. None of that. She was just like, okay, and then she left. Like, that was it. Like,
broken up.
yeah,
Broken up.
the movies aren't real.
No, this one I brought though, because for me, it's funny you say the movies aren't real. This one's felt real for me. This feels like the dealership right now. Like we're just moneyballing it, like putting the right right heads, right places,
Yeah.
hopefully. But everybody's like got their like really good strengths and they're really what's the word I'm looking for? Apparent weaknesses or whatever the fuck you want to say. But like they still team it. They get there.
I've never seen this movie though.
It's actually crazy fucking good. It's about the Oakland A's. I'm not a huge like baseball guy or person. I tell you, I like going to baseball games for the atmosphere. I feel fucking comfortable. I have space. Usually the weather's tight. The food's like halfway decent with like vegetarian options. And like no, I like going to. I don't feel like I'm getting raped on the ticket. Like when I go to an NFL game and I buy a ticket, like I love NFL, but like damn, I gotta like plan it like a vacation almost. It's not just like, hey, let's go to the Nats game. Like sometimes we'll do that shit last minute. This fireworks, little bobblehead giveaway bullshits, but they're like not like expensive. That's what I like about baseball, but I don't really follow too deep. But that shit's about like how this guy took a bunch of players who were like one of them was a washed up drunk, but he could do like a certain skill or a certain type of pitch. So they got like, and one of these pitchers, he was never drafted because, or like teams didn't want him because he threw funny. He threw like left-handed and he did some jerk, and teams like threw funny, but he threw accurate. And like this guy just like all he did is draft the heads and put the people in the places. Basically, he cut the big people to open up money and draft all these people where everyone's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" It's Brad Pitt. And the team ultimately like turned around. Sorry, because the way he looked at baseball was not winning games. We don't play baseball to win games. We play baseball to score runs. He just broke it down to this is how many runs we need to beat this team and what we got to do. And then it's just like us in the car business with what do we do to sell the car? First, we have to set the appointment. He would first start as what do we got to do to score runs? Got to get on base. He's like, doesn't matter if we have a pitcher who looks like an idiot when he's throwing the ball. If he can throw the ball right, and then we throw the other guy in when we need to, like, and then when we're going up, like he'd draft these weird people who could do like certain things with batting, or I guess there's certain players who where how they stand in the box, they get walked so much more. And he's like, yes, let's do that. Let's just get these guys and get them walked. And then he's like, and then he'll work someone who can then just not necessarily hit a home run. He's like, but hit the ball to get on base. So those walks turned. He broke it down like a science, and he took them far. I want to say they blow it in the championship, and they don't win the fucking shit. But ultimately, he took them from last to like second. Like, and yeah, the dealership just felt like Moneyball lately. Like with like how we had like at some certain points, bro. Like there's 9 guys, but 2 people calling out. Some of the Saturdays, 5, 6 of you guys. Yeah. It felt like we were moneyballing it, like trying to like the way like people were juggling. I'm sure you've seen Beverly Hills Cops.
I've definitely seen that.
Oh my god, I love my mom. It's funny. The first one she showed me was the third one, and then like I went backwards on my own. My favorite's probably the second one, low key. I don't know. Yeah, I'd say the second one. And then, like, first one's, like, pretty dope. I like the reboot of this. I'm not always the biggest fan on reboots, but the reboot was pretty sweet.
I think as long as they, like, tell a decent story, it's the reboots will be fine. Like, it's just
don't... Oh, no, it wasn't for story. It was more for, like, Michael Bay shit, like, the shit.
The explosions.
Like, the explosions. Like, explosions. That's it. That's all, like I was,
they're
like,
rebooting everything, and I would just, like, don't reboot everything. Don't reboot everything. Like some things.
So hard to find unique stories.
Yeah.
It's so hard.
But it's like once you end the series on a good note, like I would just let that like ride off into the sunset.
I like these shorter shits now where it's like Black Mirror, where you can watch an episode, you don't need to watch any of the other ones, and like each episode's something different. Or like when it's a season. Like, we binged White Lotus the other day in, like, 2 days. Like, the first season. It was so great. But, like, it was manageable. Some 6-8 episodes, and, like, you're good. You could, like, I guess I just like it when it's, like that. I've been, like, binging that shit lately. No cap. All the time, bro. All the time.
There's a lot of shows that's on my to-watch on Netflix and on Paramount, too.
I destroyed Paramount. I watched it all. all of them, bro. I just like the Taylor series. That dude who wrote Yellowstone. He did like Lioness. He did Landman. I buzzed through all that. I'm like waiting on seasons now, bro. We're just fucking waiting.
So they put Blue Mountain State back on there, and when I was just about to get out of high school, like that was like my image of what college was gonna be. And
Yeah. Just blew out the way.
Yeah,
Oh my
bro.
gosh, bro. The
Like,
throwbacks.
it was cool. Like it was so cool because then when you saw it and you realized like, hey, this is it. Like now you can live vicariously through the show.
Well, hey, bro. I appreciate you coming out, man.
For sure, bro.
Thank you.
For sure.
It was a pleasure, bro.
I appreciate you for having me.
Hell yeah.